Welcome back to the most professional StarCraft 2 with the most creative Terran in the game. In the red, the Admiral. It's GuMiho. Up against the German Zerg in the blue, we have Lambo. A best of 3 Terran versus Zerg on the new StarCraft 2 balance patch with 2 of the smartest players in the game to help us navigate it. But these players not nearly as smart as those of you who've already smashed the like button. And maybe even subscribe. And Jimmy, what are we at? 1,482 likes on this video, on this cast, and I'll cast another one. And that's not a threat. It's a promise. Thank you for watching. Hopefully, you've had a good day so far, and hopefully it's about to get just a little bit better. GuMiho embracing the nature of Neon Violet Square, a map which we've returned to with a command center first. I really want to point out, especially with GuMiho involved, the third base has 2 gas geysers, and it's a pocket base, which means if you can take your natural, you pretty much get a free third. And GuMiho very much embracing that discount card. There are only 4 mineral patches, but you know what sort of unit composition really benefits from having access to extra gas early? Mech. And you know what player pioneered pretty much all of the mech strategies in both modern and historical StarCraft 2? Well, you're looking at him. And with the return of the old Cyclone, the Cyclone, which on this map GuMiho used to great effect. In fact, he could just not teleport, but port his build orders from like 5 years ago. Not entirely sure why this map is back in the map pool, but I don't think GuMiho's going to complain too much. Lambo, on the other hand, less focused on the gas, but instead the minerals. As Zerg, you usually want to expand to the most minerals possible, because especially with the Queen now costing 175, you don't need that much gas early, and taking more extractors actually eats into your drone count as well. So taking the back base, not nearly as much a priority as it is for GuMiho. Getting that creep spread out there is going to be absolutely paramount, and making sure you don't take critical damage to any sort of early pokes and prods and the wide variety of harass units is absolutely key. So, GuMiho, he's taking gases 3 and 4 at less than 35 SCVs. He's building a Viking. He's technically got a tech lev on the barracks, but very conspicuously, it's not upgrading anything. Lambo's gonna see that. He already saw the back third. Not that he can really do anything about it. The Viking, You're not fooling anyone, GuMiho. You're not fooling Lambo. You're not fooling me. And he's not fooling himself either. Just flips it over. The least effort put in to try to convince Lambo this isn't mech. I don't think Lambo's going to be surprised to see what it is. But the amount of options afforded to Zerg early are quite limited. Roaches, Lings, and Queens. Of which he has a little bit of all of them. Gonna poke up with the Roaches because GuMiho didn't even bother sending out the Hellions to control the creep. When you can get a third base like this as Terran so comfortably, it's a lot less of an obligation to keep the Zerg under wraps. A lot of the time, you want to at least force the Zerg into building extra units early, because that way, when you take your third, they might not have enough to overrun you. But you kind of just get a third base for free, and it's definitely going to be mech. Slaps down 2 more factories, double armory on the way. The Hell Clones have returned. And this time, I didn't have a follow-up on that one, but we'll see. Magfield Accelerator's on the way. Just FYI, for the handful of you that actually played the ladder during the Nightmarish last week, the Cyclones are not the bugged-out version, just the very strong version from years ago. The tournament mod here at Homestory Cup made sure of that. So, we will see if the build that GuMiho pioneered and used to great effect years ago is still a valid one with a return to the clones of old. Whereas Lambo, I think, anticipating something along these lines. He's got a Spire on the way, which he's probably thinking it's Battlecruiser, which it is GuMiho. And he does have 3 bases of gas, so Battlecruisers are certainly not an unlikely option. But actually just rushing up to the mech army. Cyclones also shoot up. So unfortunately, Muta's not a great answer to them. As for similar cost, 1 Cyclone very easily kills off 1 Muta. And if you're microing them well, it can be much more than one. Cloak is on the way. Well, just in case he wasn't sure before, he's pretty sure now. Banshee coming in. Sidestepping a corrosive bile. I gotta point out how little effort. It's such a distinct difference from watching, and not in a bad way, but just a very different stylistic choice. As, for example, Clem is always sitting on the very edge of the creep, right outside your base, ready to dart in. Whereas GuMiho, like 7 minutes in, he's finally trying to clear some of these creep tumors. But he's so much more focused on building up his infrastructure and his unit composition, and making sure that's all. He's already got a 4th command center. Like, it's 74 to 72 workers. This has been all but a no-rush 7-minute game. With the Banshee finally coming in. The Rock's being taken down. Another base on the way. 10 Mutalisks in production. The Mutas could come as a surprise, though kind of unlikely to be. Meanwhile, the Banshee kills a queen. That Muta, I think he tried to hide it, but I'm 94.8% sure that GuMiho spotted it. This one Banshee, this is like the most lazy Banshee that's still getting the job done. There's no detection down here. Oh, he saw the spore move. He's paying attention. I think he tried to intercept the Mutas with the Cyclones as well. 1-1 is about to be done, but he didn't quite find the Mutas. He saw it with the Banshees. There's no way. He has a turret in the main, right? Yes. All right. Comes in. Mutas just fly on by. Not wanting to contest the Cyclones and the turrets. Another turret. It's lagging. Okay, wait. Because we got all that in one moment. It's lagging. So many lag. So they're both lagging. The game paused. My Muta's doing hot with no micro. I don't know if that's a miss or if he's complimenting his Mutas. I think your turret is dying. Turret. I won't kill it. Honorable, but it's okay if no more lag. I think. So they're agreeing how much damage should have been done. Because sometimes if it lags too much, the players will resume for like the game from a replay. Like about 10 seconds before. But they're debating how much damage that should have been done if there was no lag. And it seems like everybody's good to go. During the event, there were some tropical lag storms. So, unfortunately, we don't have land support. But at this point, we barely have game-breaking bug support. So, that ship has sailed a long time ago. Or sunk. I'm not sure which one. But good to see the sportsmanship between these two as they murder each other. GuMiho incinerating a base, Cyclones and Banshees and Hellbats, oh my. Banshee speed, Hyperflight rotors is on the way. Blue Flame Widowmine slaps a mute out of the sky, but the Banshee is offered up in turn. The Banshee finally, that was the laziest Banshee, but it still got so much done. Failing upwards. Well, it started upwards, but... Well... The Barracks Lord still out on the map. Actually flies faster than Overlord without speed, fun fact. More rocks being taken down. Infestation Pit just started. And GuMiho! Fusion Core! The late game choice. This isn't for Caduceus Reactor, not for Advanced Ballistics, at least not right off the bat. No, I think for once, the Fusion Core for the Battlecruisers, as the Admiral will call in the fleet. The one thing he doesn't have right now is the ability to close the game out. It's very hard to actually win the game outright against a high economy Zerg with Hellclone. You can constantly poke and prod, maybe whittle him down, but there's no more dramatic statement than the teleporting capital ships. And the Admiral. Well, here comes Lambo's maxed out army. So losing a bit of it right off the bat. There's still some Banshees. He's just incrementing them out. I love GuMiho's constant attention. Like, he doesn't... In fact, he's probably the slowest Terran player in the game. I say that endearingly. For those who don't know, he has a condition called hyperhidrosis, which means he's also literally the sweatiest Terran player in the game. He sweats so much, he plays with his hand in a towel. So his mouse doesn't get too sweaty. I think he actually has like something like an oven mitt now that he uses. But the effect is the same. So, I think because of this condition, he's learned to work smarter and not harder. Like, I'm not being It's not just a metaphor or like a fun nickname to say he's the most creative, but he's had to learn how to play. He has 50% less APM than Clem does. Yet, he hangs right there with him, and sometimes surpasses him against certain opponents. So, the Banshee's going to work, the Hell Clones together. Lambo rolling in with another round of Banes. That Siege tank in a nasty position, backed up against the squares. A right angle for him indeed. And meanwhile, more Banelings at the back, but it's just not getting the job done. The Banshee, easily able to pick things off. He cloaked it. Not that that's really relevant here, and there's plenty of Overseers. No Overlord speed, though. 3 Battlecruisers in production. Infestors on the way. Another thing, GuMiho doesn't need your ghosts. He doesn't need any of your other silly units. In fact, sometimes he loses games because he doesn't build ghosts. And, well, it depends on how much damage he's able to get with the initial Battlecruisers. Because Neural Parasite is still an existential threat. He hasn't researched Yamato Cannon. So Spore Crawlers now do more damage, but they have less HP, which makes them significantly more vulnerable to Yamato. They don't get one shot. It does 240. Yeah, he kind of forgot about it. But even though they'll do more damage to the cruisers themselves, with 100 less HP, the Battlecruisers easily just strafe through. No upgrades, but it doesn't matter. And now chasing down a speed Banshee. The Spire's already done, yet GuMiho went into Battlecruisers, trusting himself to get the job done with them. Gonna target the gold base yet again. Here come the Cyclones. Fungal catches one, the rest. Zerglings try to chase. He goes into the squares. And, well, this is an odd fight. Here comes some Hellions, though, with Blue Flame completed. Goes into Hellbat mode. Cyclones will be cleared out, but the Battlecruisers are still going. And, God. Oh, he actually loses one to the Corruptors. Doesn't quite kill the base. Another Battlecruiser will kill a hatch over to the left flank, though. It's not like GuMiho's hurting economically. In fact, he just took the lead in income. And they've been pretty even throughout this entire exchange. Yamato Cannon is halfway done as the Fusion Core is upgrading. Couple clones. Another Battlecruiser jumps away. And without Fungal or Neural Parasite, you're going to have a tough time knocking those Battlecruisers down, no matter how many Corruptors you have. Cyclone softens up the hatchery, but overall not enough to take it out. The game will slow down a bit as both players kind of reevaluate their unit compositions and try to figure out the best options going into the late game. Lambo does not have Burrow, which is a major oversight, I'd say, at this stage. Considering his best chance against the mass Battlecruiser play is to borrow some of them. Terran units are incredibly good. That's why borrowing some is usually the premier option in the... Oh my god, those things are dying. These Hellbats are, wow, +2 armor. And the Ravagers, they do nothing. Incinerates 8 drones, immolates dozens of Zerglings, and still stomping their way through. The Corruptors will frown upon them, but that is the extent of their capabilities. As the Hellbats saunter into another mineral line. And just light it up. Drones being roasted left, right, and literally center. 13 drones dead, pretty much just to these 4 Hellion/Hellbats. Finally, the Ravagers will take it out. +3 mech weapons is done, but so it... No, +3 mech plating. Very interesting and kind of understandable that GuMiho prioritized the plating upgrade, which works for both ground and air. Meanwhile, Lambo putting out fires in the literal sense all across the map. The Battlecruiser count has grown to 8. Neural Parasite is done, but Yamato Cannon is online. And the Infestors, if it's just Battlecruisers, he jumps back home. Does not want to risk getting Neural Parasited. GuMiho was getting hit by Corruptor, so he lands the bear. Which delays its demise by several seconds. He splits off his Battlecruisers. At this point, the Neural Parasite is an existential threat. He finds... Did you know Cyclones are great counters to Cyclones? Fun fact. But as long as he knows where the Infestors are, then he can avoid them with the Cruisers. And as long as he jumps away in time, Neural Parasite and Fungal are hard to land before the jump completes. 1 second cast time, which... well, the queens are able to take out one. GuMiho with so much money in the bank. He's been so cost-effective. Oh my. He's lost 8,000 less minerals and 1,000 less gas. Of course, most of his units outside of Hellbats, all of his units cost gas, and a sizable amount. But that is that third base, with the 2 gas geysers right off the bat. Really springboarding this mech composition into strength here. And Lambo has... It feels like Lambo's been reacting to GuMiho this entire game. At no point has he been able to take the initiative. And I'm still hard-pressed to see a point in which he will. The Venn scan spots every infestor. Just scatters out some corrosive biles. I'm not even sure what he's aiming at on some of those. Yamato cannons, but the siege tanks. Neural Parasite potential. But the tanks are doing a lot of damage before the infestors can even close the distance. Those are fully upgraded siege tanks right there. +3/+3 completed. There are 13 infestors. Even if he uses Neural Parasite with each one of them, if he gets all of the Battlecruisers, the tanks will obliterate him. If he gets all the tanks, then nothing stops the Battlecruisers. Lambo is maxed out. But is this the army you need? Is there an army to stop this? As GuMiho's going to do a turret tank Battlecruiser push? The campaign Terran. And the infestors are caught out in front. They go up in flames, nearly spontaneously combusting. The Battlecruiser count is high enough. Fires off the cannons. Neural Parasite, but he jumps away. Only 2 cruisers are caught. They can kill the siege tanks, potentially. He may just kill his own cruisers to deal with this. Even a couple Neural Parasites enough to turn the tides here for now. A lot of the Battlecruisers still have their Yamato cannons ready. You could see them lit up down the center there. Oh wait, no, that just means the upgrade's done. For some reason, I thought it was like the Disruptor. But a lot of them still on cooldown. I think that's the reason GuMiho backing off a bit. He still has plenty of money. He's building Thors now to directly engage the Broodlords. Lambo's holding on, but he can barely replace what he has now, let alone build another one. GuMiho has another army in the bank. It's looking pretty desperate here for the German Zerg. Despite his supply. His upgrades are pretty good, but only +1 Carapace. Why are all these tanks on there? Freeing up supply. Oh, that was an infestor. Those tanks, even on siege. Neural Parasite across the board, but the Yamato cannons will go off on the infestors, freeing the rest of the cruisers to engage direct. This is a bit of a mess. The Battlecruisers countering Battlecruisers, but the Corruptors. A Fungal will deny the tactical jump, but it looks like the Battlecruisers are actually just winning. Even with only half of them. Yeah, the Battlecruiser with +3 plating. Quite a match for even the Corruptors here. And now 7 Battlecruisers in production for GuMiho. Lambo is almost broke. Meanwhile, GuMiho's just waiting on his next shipment of Battlecruisers to complete. Another Neural. But the rest of the cruisers could take out that infestor. They do. Corrosive Bile, probably the most effective damage dealer against the Battlecruisers so far. Jumps away the hurt cruisers. Short jump. More like a skip there, but... tactical skip. But GuMiho maintains 200 supply, whereas... oh, Gumi, bro. Lambo trying to come up with something. It's hard to tell. Now, I'm sure Lambo knows GuMiho's ahead. But he might not realize exactly how far ahead. The fact that GuMiho has thousands in the bank, especially gas. He has 11 Battlecruisers. He's throwing away some SCVs, it looks like. Which is, of course, more of a power move than killing them yourself. Creep has been spread over most of the map. Just some Hellions out here. That's gonna run the roaches away. "11 Battlecruisers, 3 Thors. Not a singular ghost. Up against mass infestors." And GuMiho says, "Ghosts? Never heard of them." All right, sounds scary. Lambo has scratched his way back up near 200 supply. But the fleet is prepared to go all the way. I don't actually know. And a Raven as well, just in case. 2 Yamatos, 2 infestors dead. The siege tanks covering. Honestly, at this point, GuMiho can probably throw away his SCVs down to like 50 or so, but whatever he's doing right now is clearly working out for him, so far be it from me to criticize. More drones dead as Lambo with a last attack down the center. The infestor count at 8. The corruptor count at 13. Oh, that Raven is done, pulls it back. He actually, not sure what he's doing with the command centers. Lambo's getting into the production. Are we base trading? He can jump back, though. The Battlecruisers can jump back home. So if he can whittle down... GuMiho's almost a max, so he can't really build many more units here, awkwardly. Yeah, GuMiho's like, well, I can just come home and defend this at any time, so... The infestors... Oh my... As they file their way through the squares. Unfortunately, infestors cannot, like, deep tunnel or whatever. The main base is pretty much gone. The natural's been glassed as well. The Battlecruiser's casually strafing over everything. A completely mined out... Well, there's still some gas, I guess, but... GuMiho clears out most of the tech tree. There's a few roaches. The supplies are still remarkably high. Anti-armor missile on the corruptors. He actually spots the infestors. And Yamato cannons online. Lambo looking the other way. Oh. I don't know what happened there. I think the scan ran out. So the infestors live. Ah! That's unfortunate. Not a great timing to be like... Well, there's no great time, but of all the times... I don't know if it'll change the trajectory of this game. Either way. Maybe if GuMiho stepped away from his computer for a few minutes. But barring that... The infestors coming along the left side. Not sure if the Raven is still nearby. Spots it. Fungal, but the Yamato cannons will obliterate the infestors before anything else can be done. Battlecruiser's actually not great against themselves. And GuMiho calls in the fleet. And lets Lambo know it's time to leave. A tough game across the board for Lambo. GuMiho kind of just falling back to his default. Like, this map and the Cyclones are reverted to what they were when GuMiho was, I wouldn't say dominating, but regularly using the Hellclone strategy. So, what a timing for this all to come back for him and bring back these sort of strategies. Even more so than we've seen in the last couple years. Having a third base with free gas geysers, it's free real estate. Okay, that's Battlecruisers built into it right there. So beautiful to see. That's what I want to see, though, is so many Terran players are stuck doing the same build order they did when, like, in Wings of Liberty. If I see 3 CC into Hellion Banshee, into 3 barracks, and then 5 barracks and a tank push, 74 more times this month, I will lose it. All right? Thankfully, we're only at, like, 35 so far, so. And with Path of Exile 2 coming out, I don't know how many games I will see, which is why we're trying to get these all out of the way. Anyways, we're going into Game 2 on Ley Lines. Definitely a much better map to play Zerg on. against Terran. Wide open attack, well, not wide open, but significantly more attack paths and realistic ability to deny that third base. And that is the absolute, maybe not deny, but at least pressure the third. Here's the thing, though. GuMiho is no one-trick pony. This pony has so many tricks in it. So we've seen GuMiho play some of the most flawless Marine tank style as well. So he's not locked into mech at all. Once again, the expert in working smarter and not harder. And I'm racking my brain. You're limited. I know this is going to sound dumb. Pretend it's profound. Like and subscribe for more profound statements. You're limited to 200 supply. And I'm hard-pressed to think of an army that, like a 200 supply Zerg army, that reliably deals with that 200 supply Terran army. Because it feels like it trends back towards the very infuriating yet somewhat accurate response of what do you do if they get 10 Battlecruisers? And the answer being, don't let them get 10 Battlecruisers. Well, thank you. That's very helpful. I mean, Lambo, you put too much into anti-air, then you're die to siege tanks. Put too much into anti-ground, you die to Battlecruisers. It feels like past a certain stage, almost impossible to actually break out without maybe, like, perfect infestor, I don't know. The thing is, not even that many players play that style, so the response is kind of underdeveloped. I think Lambo did about as well as he could, considering the situation. The execution could have been better. Don't know how much of that was the lag storm and how much was just inexperience with it, but we're learning how to fight against the Hell Clone style. I think you got to get infestors early. Like, you're not going to win the trades against Hell Clones. They're designed to be better than all your units. They're just faster, stronger, more handsome. All right, they can be repaired. If you can't hold them down and rip them apart, then you're going to have a bad time. Was this? No, it wasn't a command center first, but the Reaper took its sweet time getting into the base. It was a full first out of Lambo, actually. That's a very quick Zergling speed. Trying to sneak those lings across. Don't blame him for trying something. Kind of an odd build out of GuMiho. Then again, it's GuMiho, so we'll let him cook. That's why he's got the Hellions. Very nice of him to think he accidentally clicked on the rocks there. Hellion and 2 Marines. Not quite enough to deal with this. Bit of a game of chicken. There could be another 6 Zerglings waiting to jump in. There aren't, but GuMiho doesn't know that for sure. More Hellions on the way. I'm very interested to see where he goes with this now. We know where Lambo's going to go. It's going to be Queens. It's going to be Lings. Only questions are whether he gets a Roach Warren and how much of a priority is Lair. Whereas GuMiho, I think Bio. He's added a second tech lab in the barracks after starting a Banshee. So we're going to see the more standard. All right, I guess it's 36th time for 3cc into Marine tank. Jimmy, scratch it into the wall. Blood works. Stim is on the way. Queens doing their thing, which is pretty much everything. You're goddamn right. And now 25 more minerals. Are you kidding me? 25 more minerals? Who do the Terrans think they are? All right. What? Yeah, we won world, but they won the last 2 world championships. Does that not count? All right. How many? Yeah, well, everybody hates Protoss, so. That's sorry. 2 lairs on the way for Lambo, which feels like a mistake. Or the newest meta. Technically, you get more HP when you upgrade. There were a couple months where Serral was upgrading in the late game all of his, yeah, he canceled all of his hatcheries to lairs and hives, or at least lairs, and then using them to consume with vipers. I think spending gas for HP on your buildings is not really the ideal, which is why Terrans don't mind slapping down another dozen orbitals. Only minerals in the long run. And, by the way, a Raven. Okay. GuMiho. Once again, this is what sets him apart. If nothing else, the fact he's willing to build a Raven to clear creep, which is like the 3rd rail for Terran overall. Like, well, it can be killed by queens or other anti-air, so... And it takes a lot of stuff. Ravens are for slapping auto turrets to the back of their mineral line and nothing else, as you know. But GuMiho over here using Ravens for, you know, some utility. And then just going straight into bio. That's a lot of Hellions. Armory's on the way. I think that'll combine with the 1-1 and the triple threat combat shield stim medevac push. Queen's trying to chase it down, but... And with anti-armor missile, or even just a couple auto turrets, you can really do a number on the defense. He's keeping the creep under control, and we see to the north side the push moving out. Armory's halfway done. The timing's all coming together. Lambo does have baneling speed on the way, +1 melee attack and carapace. Still, a bit of a ways off, though. He's just going to continue clearing the creep. None of this is required to win the game. Oh, is he going to the Octo-Rax? He is. And stopped SCV production as well. So, GuMiho heading towards the almost all-in Marine tank timing. If you don't do critical damage before they reach Hive Tech, not just Hive, but Hive Tech, then you find yourself in a rough spot. But there's quite a window. Hive just started for Lambo. Both players know the score right now. I'm not talking about in games. Lambo needs to live to get Vipers, and then ideally maybe Ultras or something like that. Whereas GuMiho is going to try to kill him. And that's all going to happen in the next few minutes. GuMiho sharking around. He joined up the Hellbats and the Raven with the army. Anti-armor missile on a huge clump of Ling Bane. Dorito dusting about half the army. Going to make it that much harder for Lambo to reliably engage. And yes, even if they don't have any armor, they do take more damage with anti-armor missile. He jams those tanks in the corner with a medevac, and he can siege all the way up to the high ground. I believe he can hit the hatchery here from here as well. Meanwhile, a drop over to the right flank will distract some... Wow, the positioning is so good! Meanwhile, GuMiho holding the line. The tank push and auto turrets on the ground to just make life that much more difficult. He actually won the fight against the Zerglings over to the right side. GuMiho's up 30 supply. God. The tank positioning is incredible. Here comes the Ling Bane from the back. Siege tanks turn their guns, looking for the Banelings. Don't quite find it. Hellbats try to help out. Picks up some of the Marines. Lambo will clear this up, but we have to ask ourselves the age-old question. Have you liked and subscribed? And at what cost? And another attack comes swinging in down the center. The Hive is done. Are there any Vipers? No. No adrenal glands in production. Banelings down to 1. 69 Zerglings is not nice enough. Something happened to the main. Looks like another drop got cleaned up. Comes in again. More drones gone down. Lambo down 50 supply to GuMiho's concerted Marine tank push. Medevac not quite taken down. Hellbat inside. +2 attack about to finish. Two Vipers join production. But I fear it's too little, and I'm almost certain it's too late. The Banshee lived. The Raven was taken down, but there's still 8 medevacs and 78 Marines. GuMiho with a clean execution. He shifts from the mass late-game Battlecruiser into the mid-game Marine tank with ease. And Lambo Even if those banelings detonated with the force of a nuke, would have a tough time in dealing with this. The Viper's gonna try to help, but I don't think Vipers can do enough at this point. He doesn't have enough army on the ground to complement them. Banshee getting more kills. GuMiho just pulling him apart. It was clinical in execution here. Blinding Cloud, but wait, there's more. The Marines dodge back. And that's it. GuMiho takes it with a clean 2-0. Beautifully done. Honestly looked almost as one-sided as a Mobius strip there. Lambo clearly a solid player, knows what he wants, but GuMiho just never let him get it. Showing two completely different styles and executing them both near flawlessly. GuMiho, one of the only players bringing variety to Terran matchups. But that excitingly brings us to our bonus game, where I think for the first time showcasing BabyMarine. You might not know BabyMarine, but BabyMarine is a pretty high-level European Terran. I believe he's now breaking into like the top 32. And you might know his brother, Raynor. Yes, Raynor's little brother plays Terran and is named BabyMarine. And he faced off against another highly ranked player, the captain. Not quite an admiral, but the captain. It's Harstem. So our bonus anti-spoiler game is Raynor's brother against Harstem. Terran versus Protoss on El Dorado. And since nobody's sending out their early workers, I can gush over GuMiho some more. Well, I feel like he's the first to figure out all those sort of tank spots and such as well. One, remember them from any old map pull if for some reason they get added back in, which I'm still confused about, but... And two, exploit it to the fullest. Like, those siege tanks, when you pick up and drop them behind that mineral line that can hit the hatch, just finding those spots and exponentially multiplying the value of your units and doing it so efficiently. On top of the fact, I think it's pretty clear he wants to go Battlecruisers in every game, but he acknowledges the fact that that won't win every time. So, it's more like a dessert, okay? You can't have it all the time. Well, it's not healthy for your career, but... but on a regular basis, you get something nice. Now, Protoss versus Terran, with the removal of shield battery overcharge and the addition of energy recharge, has definitely shifted. Though, many of the same principles apply. It very much feels like the early mid-game, pretty much until Blink is done, the Protoss is under an existential threat of just dying. To siege tank pushes, to cyclone timings, to medevac drops. Without shield battery having a sentry after the first adept and using energy recharge on it to scout allows you to see how you're going to die quicker. I still very much am confused as to why we removed one of Protoss's basic defensive tools in favor of something that helps him in the late game. I'm in favor of having both on a shared cooldown. I think there should be, like, this crystal on top of the Nexus. If you have your charge cooldown, like if you have shield battery overcharge or energy recharge ready, it looks like this. And then if you use it, it turns red until it comes off cooldown. That way, both you and your opponent can see kind of the status, so they don't get surprised if they're actively scouting. But at the same time, you have the option of holding on to it in order to either use shield battery overcharge or use energy recharge. But I digress. Harstem is opting for a Stargate early against the Reactored Factory, which has lost some of its ambiguity. You now know it's not Cyclones, because Cyclones are back in the tech lab, as we previously established not long ago. So it's either Hellions or Mines, and now, well, he saw the Hellions, so kind of gives it away. I am highly amused. Did you know that Serral also has an older brother? In his signature series documentary. And he actually was in Korea and was playing SC2 semi-pro early in Wings of Liberty. And you can kind of see the wistful look on his face when he's talking about his brother. His brother being Serral, that is. This is from like 5 years ago as well, so. Raynor and Clem, especially, and Serral, are top, well, for the most part, are top 3 European players. All well known to have a very supportive family as well. There's been times when Clem's parents have been called to get him to wake up for online tournaments. As he's such a gamer, sometimes he's sleeping in till the afternoon. I can empathize. But very... As well as Raider's parents being very supportive. I mean, they got world champions in the family now. So we'll see if BabyMarine, Widowmine dropping the Hellions. This Widowmine dropping cleaned up with it. I was about to say relative ease, but he ate a hit on the Phoenixes. But overall, minimal damage here. I do wonder how much Raynor... I think at this point, BabyMarine is almost competitive. I wouldn't be surprised if Raynor practices Protoss against him. Maybe Protoss versus Terran if he's interested. I don't think he's quite near Raynor's level yet. But there's not a small chance Harstem's going to see some competition here. Though so far, handling pretty much everything with a solid defense. The Cyclone will drive away the Phoenixes. And right now the army is 5 Phoenixes and 3 Adepts for Harstem, so... Not exactly a deadly strike force, but still has potential. Phoenixes pick up and delay another barracks. Cyclone will drive them back for now. Charge and +1. +1 armor first. Star Charge will be the build. Been a while since we saw this kind of brute force unit composition. The armor upgrade. So Zealots have 50 shields and 100 HP. So armor more relevant to them than most. When you're facing off against mass Marine, that combined with Guardian Shield makes armor upgrades pay off dramatically. I don't think +1 attack allows Zealots to kill Marines in any less hits, assuming they're full HP or they use a stim. So usually the attack upgrades are more important for things like Colossi and Stalkers, because, one, those units are not supposed to be getting hit very often, whereas charge lots are a bit more enthusiastic about charging into battle. Phoenixes pick off some more. We've got a bulwark, a labyrinth of supply depots here, directly intended to funnel charge lots. Like, he's not walling off. He doesn't want to wall off, because then the charge lots will try to break down said wall. But instead, he's just making funnels to maximize the effectiveness of defenses and take bite-sized pieces of Zealots at a time. Harstem, on the other hand, is taking that top right corner base as his 4th Nexus. Already up to 67 probes. Meanwhile, BabyMarine has anything but a baby's amount of Marines. BabyMarine just makes me think of Carbot. Which is my favorite anime, of course. StarCraft. I'm not going to spoil the ending, but BabyMarine's surprisingly relevant. Go watch it right now. I'll wait. Welcome back. I'm not crying, you're crying. I cry every time. Rest in peace, crackhead. Anyways, BabyMarine taking his 3rd at the gold. Meanwhile, the Phoenixes coming in, finally finishing off that wall now that he has another angle to defend. I like the funnel, though. I think that is the best way to deal with the kind of mass charge lot style, just Protoss in general. You need to give them an awkward angle. Because on the open field... Okay, this is awkward. But the Adept is blocking the base for quite a time. And now he's on the open field to scan. That's not enough charge lots. He doesn't have a Colossus with the army. Is that the first one? Yep, first one's in production. 26 charge lots. Now working on +1 ground weapons as well. Harstem. Warp Prism with some charge lots inside. Gonna try to engage. He does have 1-1, but I don't... No, that's not good enough. Vikings hit the deck, but that did not go well. That was very bad. He lost 17 charge lots. 2 sentries. He killed 1 siege tank. Technically, BabyMarine killed one of his own tanks. That was... Yeah, Well, he's going for a full... This is much more a quantity over quality sort of build. Charge lots and Colossi. I like how Harstem is mining out the entire mineral wall, because if you don't do that, you very well could be caught in a concave of your own design. War Prism taken down. Charge lots will slice up a few more SCVs. Harstem continuing mass production. Warp gates of mass production. How many warp gates? 10? Those are rookie numbers. You gotta pump those numbers up. I'm sure he will. He's going up to... What is 83 probes and counting? The Phoenix is freeing up supply. Is the most generous interpretation I can come up with. As they too fall. Meanwhile, double drop up to the north side. BabyMarine actually able to slip away. And now quite a conundrum. As Harstem actually he's got a bit of a problem now. 87 probes. 88 probes, he's recalling, but that means his maximum army supply is 110. That is just not that much. Oh my god, not intimidated at all. Guardian Shield used. The Marauder's taking it down. He's not going to get the second one, but he trades for a Colossus. Maybe a bit ambitious. Blink is not done, so the Medivacs may be able to escape. Oh, well, that's sad. This is a really cool looking area, though. I love the aesthetics. Extended Thermal Lance is completed. +2/+2 on the ground. Meanwhile, BabyMarine has only just started an armory, so upgrades are still pretty far off in his future. Two Warp Prisms. Why do you only have 10 gates, Harstem? You gotta pump those numbers up. Only 2 robos. The one thing Harstem is missing is production. 1,500 mineral income lead, or just income lead at 1,800 mineral income lead per minute. Templar Archives now begrudgingly on the way. Another Nexus. And more probes! BabyMarine has Ghost now. Still hasn't started 2-2. The Vikings. EMP washes over everything. Of course, as mentioned, those Zealots not as affected by it. Why, they're pretty okay counter here. Multiple prisms. Gonna try to send some up towards the north side. BabyMarine's still trying to break out. Planetary Fortress on the way as he mines from the back of the gold. Knocks out a War Prism. Looking for more of the Colossi. And so far... does he not have Concussive? He does. The Stalkers blink away. Another Warp Prism made it into the main. Gonna start slicing through. Actually, the charge lots are kind of funneled in the main base. Wait, does he wall in his own Marauders? Beautiful. This Marauder is trapped. Classic. Meanwhile, the charge lots are funneling through this choke point. Harstem says, I don't know. I don't care how many of you will die. That's a risk I'm willing to take. As another couple dozen Zealots are gunned down. 4 more gates. And a fleet beacon is on the way for Harstem as he takes to the skies. A triple drop is loaded up, but seems a bit optimistic. The army moving to intercept. Meanwhile, charge lots down towards the natural. Still some Marauders trapped in. Yeah, I don't think this is going to work out. He picks up. Harstem guns down 1 medevac. Let the rest get away. Ground armor level 3. Now completed, giving Harstem a fully upgraded minus the shields. Protoss army. BabyMarine finally getting the +2/+2 infantry weapons and armor. Harstem now with 14 gateways, building mass cannons. Widowmine slams. The funnel at the natural holds the line for a second, but the charge lots have broken in. 2-2 now done, so almost an anti-timing here for Harstem, but more Widowmines, more charge lots, more SCVs dead. Supply depots distracting the Colossi, as they are wont to do. The Marauders can eat a lot of shots. The Vikings, oh, no, 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 the Storms, though. Does he have Storm? Yes. That one Templar could make all the difference because BabyMarine is tearing through everything. He needs that Storm so bad. Oh, no, he got EMP'd. Harstem, what have you done? Harstem drops down, now at a supply deficit. BabyMarine doesn't strike while the iron is hot, though. He turns away to try to defend his bases. I think missing an opportunity to capitalize on this momentum, though it is a very hard choice to make to continue going forward while your third base is being gutted. Harstem has 100 probes and he's building more. That's too many probes. That's too many probes. Okay. I have nothing else to say. Too many probes. Just keep repeating that. That's actually, if he loses this game, it will be because BabyMarine has enough army supply to just kill everything without Harstem ever being able to touch it. Because right now, BabyMarine's up 30 army supply and he's not even maxed. 102 probes. Too many probes. This is the point where, if you're Terran, you don't even want to kill probes anymore. You don't know that, of course. But if he just goes straight for production in army, then Harstem may... Oh, good dual prong, though. Taking out the outlying bases. More scans. Harstem go for the rocks. There's a Storm. Wades through it. Not much more behind it. A couple of Immortals. EMP. Immortals caught out. Harstem replenishing. He's got cannons as a bulwark. He's playing this like Zerg right now. He's lost 100 Zealots. And that's just the beginning. More of them. That's some SCVs with the army. Feels like BabyMarine, while he has an okay position, he is struggling to keep up with Harstem on either side of the map. He's been on defense for 90% of the game, and that number's only going up. The Stalkers targeting the Ghosts. Takes him out. The Vikings as well. Turns around against the Marines and Marauders. The Tempests are being added. 103 probes. That's too many probes. There's a Storm ready. Going for the Templar actually somehow concusses it. Not entirely sure how that works against the gliding Templar, but sure. BabyMarine still with a massive army supply lead. But the Tempest starting to chew through. Meanwhile, some more charge lots gunned down to the north side. There's very limited anti-air here. He has +1 air weapons, does Harstem. Knocking out another medevac. Honestly, I think this is just inexperience from BabyMarine. He has the army, but he's struggling to make a decisive move. The charge lots are filing through. +3 weapons done. Another entire wave of charge lots will kill a handful of Marines and Marauders. But the rest of the army moves up through the center. That top left corner is also taken by Harstem. He has so much of the map. And in fact, I think killing all these probes will help Harstem. Here comes a recall of kind of a weird amount of units. He's going to kill a Templar. He got an Immortal. 18 probes dead. And Harstem immediately starts rebuilding them. He can't help it. It's enough. You have enough probes. It's like, well, I lost probes. I have to replace my probes. We've all been there. The autopilot kicking in. As BabyMarine driven back yet again. The Tempest making things very difficult. Even though multiple times BabyMarine maybe had the army to push through, Harstem successfully drew him away from his production, from key parts of the map. And now there's just not enough income. Well, he dropped a bunch of mules and he has the gold base, I think, so I take it back. He is supply blocked at 150. Trying to cut off more bases, but Harstem slowly and surely slicing him apart. The natural is gutted. The Marines and Marauders are near red, the ones that aren't dead. Autumn colors. Another dozen charge lots warped in, and there's more. There's money for more. He scans as the Tempests try to come in, but it looks like BabyMarine will not become Toddler Marine today. A deadly army. The Tempests knock out some more. The Marauders kiting back, but BabyMarine unable to make the decisive actions needed. I do think he has plenty of potential. Clearly a strong Terran. But he has a lot to live up to as well, as Harstem throws 150 zealots at him. Compare that to barely more than 150 bio units out of BabyMarine. He's willing to sacrifice everything because he can replace it. So an interesting set of games for sure, with GuMiho showing a command over two completely different Terran styles against Lambo, and then Harstem with a Zerg style against Rainer's brother BabyMarine. But we'll be looking out for more. I think some fun games today, and I hope you enjoyed as well, and I hope it made your day a little bit better. Thank you for watching. If you got the means of motivation, be awesome. Check out Patreon or YouTube membership. But I hear liking and subscribing is still free for now. And if you want to see some more, you can check out the second channel, Winter Gaming TV, for streams of me playing much more poorly, but still. And probably some Path of Exile too. But I digress. Thank you for watching. I hope I made your day a little bit better. I hope to see you next time. Good luck. Have fun. Stay chill.